Rockamadooch, Jimmy B out here at Twin Peaks on Kelback in Phoenix. Pac-12. We're all bummed out. The network's going away, or not the network's going away, but the conference is going away as we know it, and it's gonna suck for a while, I think. But boy, are they going out strong with all the bowl games, and to have one of the teams in the Final Four is awesome. And joining us now,
not yet. We're tracking them down.
Oh, right I'm sorry. Yeah. Why are you telling me to go? You guys could have brought it back.
We got you good, Rox.
You want to set drive me nuts. You're like, oh yeah, we're on, we're live. Yeah. Roxy's waiting on hold.
No, he's been busy as he gets ready for the Wazoo Washington game up
there. Not till Saturday. He's not getting ready today.
He's busy. Got meetings. He's got to do conference calls. He's got to do all that stuff that broadcasters do. Rox. It's called your prep.
Oh,
talking to
coaches. Prep. Is that what that is?
And doing all.
I don't think stuff. I know what that is.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it's just we're trying to figure that out with what Jimmy B does do. I mean. What is it? You just read the game notes, right? Well,
sure.
The PR guy does all the work for all the broadcasters. Yeah.
So
really, that's all they do.
So if you were the PR guy,
I was the PR guy.
Yeah.
So
you'd be my best friend.
Yeah,
you'd be my best friend.
You'd be like, Rock, can I get the game notes?
Yeah.
I need to prep.
Yeah.
I need something to talk about on the air.
I'd probably see you about 30 minutes before the game would start.
But the Pac-12 certainly, you got to admit, they went out with a bang. I mean, with the Huskies beating the Ducks in the conference championship game, and now it's Washington and the number 2 team in the college play. It's amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Roxy Bernstein joins us now. How you doing, Roxy? What's going on?
I'm hanging in. Now I'm kind of the hangover from football being done. On to the next.
Hey, would you agree? Because Manuch is a color analyst, Jimmy B's a former play-by-play guy, and I'm a former PR guy. It's the game notes, right? I mean, it's the game notes, right? It's all about the PR guy, right? We give you guys the nuggets so you can perform, right? So PR guys, they don't get the cred that they should, is what I'm trying to tell these guys. They don't.
I agree 100% that they are our lifeline, especially, for example, like now in college basketball. I'm bouncing around. I'm doing 3 or 4 games a week and all these different teams. That's the way to stay connected. And they're the ones that'll fill you in, what's happening, what's the mood of the team, etc. And you talk to the coaches, you talk to some of the players, but if you really want the good stuff, the SIDs are the ones that give you that.
That is correct.
And looking at everything overall, it's interesting what they give you and what the coaches want to give you. And I think you just nailed it right there, Roxy. Is okay. Well, I just heard you don't want to ever question the coach, but I think sometimes somewhere in the middle lies the truth with the coaches, right?
The truth is somewhere in the middle, right? I mean, the coaches, they want you to know what they want you to know. But some coaches, I got to admit, some coaches are more forthright and honest than others. It just depends. And, I've been doing this for a long time. Over the years, the relationships I have, that there are a lot of coaches that are very trustworthy with me, knowing what they want me to know. Sometimes I don't necessarily want to know the truth, because if I know the truth, they don't want the truth out there, that it might slip. Right? I'm just dumb enough to divulge something if hey, this is just between us. I don't want this to get out there. I'm just dumb enough to say something sometimes.
And when you're doing the broadcast with Walton, how do you prepare for Bill Walton? I know you're prepped, but at what point do you back out? Do you try to get control? Or when he gets on a roll, just let him rant?
Well, first up, before I do the game with him, there is no way to prepare for him. I have no idea where he's going to go, what he's going to do, where he's going to take it. So I gave up at doing that years ago. I tried to play mind games and see if I could figure out exactly what he'd be thinking. But now it's just like, okay, I got to prepare to do the game, because one of us has to do the game, right?
Yep.
And he's going to inform, he's going to entertain, and then my job is to also get the train back on the tracks when he veers off in a crazy direction. And, a lot of times, look, if Bill and I have a blowout, let Bill do it, right? Let him go off on a tangent. I'll rein it back in when I need to, or if I need to call him on something, I will. But when we have a tight ball game, that's when I have to really pull the reins back with Bill, get him to refocus, that, hey, Bill, there's little subtle ways I'll do it, but I have to have a feel for the way the game is going. If it's the better the game, the more I'm going to have to get him back on track.
Do you ever have to have a call with Pash to say, hey, don't, just a heads up, because he gets a couple games with him.
Well, Dave and I commiserate because we can definitely sympathize with one another. Because there's very few people who feel the pain and agony that we individually feel when we're dealing with it. Right? We love it. Don't get us wrong, but it can be frustrating. It can be very challenging at times. And there's a few card-carrying members, and Dave and I certainly right now are on that executive board of dealing with Bill.
It's interesting that the way that Bill is, I've known him a long time, but I did a couple of games with Dick Vitale in the early years, and he's not like Bill is. He's not like Bill is, but he would go off, as you would know, Roxy, and you had to try to rein him back in, too, so you could, get down to what was going on the court. I feel your pain, brother. I do.
Everybody that I work with is unique. And, for example, I'm going to be with Sean Farnham on Saturday. He and I have Gonzaga at Washington Saturday night. We have a great rapport. Our sense of humors are pretty aligned. And we could go a year without doing a game, and we'll just step right in and have that
2 minutes
feel for one another.
Yep.
Where some other guys, it might be a little different. But everybody's unique in the way they prepare, the way they present the game, the way they look at the game. And working with Sean Farnham or Fran Fraschilla or Corey Williams, whoever I end up partnered with, or even Bill, it's just everybody's different. And sometimes it takes a little while to get used to working with someone. And sometimes you have that instantaneous chemistry, which is great. But that's, I think part of the fun. Look, you guys know me and everything I do, right? Between football, basketball, baseball, I do hockey. I love the variety. And when you have the variety of partners, I think it keeps it fresh also.
Roxy, we look at the playoffs, and you got Michigan, Bama, and then you got Washington, Texas. I was very impressed with Washington to close that game out against Oregon on the ground of all areas, and a couple key passes by Penix Jr. What is it about Washington that a lot of folks across the nation, let's just say this, east of the Mississippi, are not aware of, and why they've got a very good chance to beat the Longhorns?
Well, first off, it starts with the quarterback, as you guys know, right? He is a special player. And there's a reason why he's going to New York this weekend as a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. He's led the country in passing, but the one thing that I'm just enamored with Michael Penix Jr. is his ability to throw the deep ball and his touch. You either have that or you don't, as you guys know. He's got it, and he is special in that regard. I think the other thing that people don't know about Washington is just how impressive that offensive line is. There's a reason why Michael Penix has been healthy the last 2 years, where it was an issue before he came to Washington. It's because of how good that offensive line is. So I think that's another thing that people will go, oh, I didn't realize that about Washington. Yeah. So, and I'm so excited for them and their opportunity. They're proving a lot of the doubters wrong. Not many people, I'm not going to say nobody gave them a chance, because that's not true. Not many people, though, thought they would go into Vegas and beat Oregon for a second time. They did it. They have earned the right to be in the playoffs, and I think they got to be feeling pretty good. And I think the extra time to get ready for the Sugar Bowl will pay dividends for Michael Penix, who I thought was a little banged up at the end of the year.
Roxy, we always enjoy having you on, buddy. Thank you for the time. I know you're running around like crazy, so thanks for squeezing us in for a few minutes. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. Anytime.
Hey, you can follow Roxy on Twitter. He's all over it. Roxy Bernstein. Check it out. Again, he's got Washington State at Washington on Saturday night. Appreciate him joining us today. Roxy today is sponsored by All City Towing. Looking for a career that pays great with great benefits? All City Towing. They're looking for people. They need help. Go to allcitytowing.com and search careers. That's All City Towing. Statewide service, and they will answer your call 24/7. allcitytowing.com. Well, coming up, we need a contestant to challenge one of the Twin Peaks girls here from the Camelback